With that said, I'm excited to reintroduce and welcome back your next head football coach, Scott Frost.
Well, 10's not my number, but maybe we know somebody else who could use that. I'm happy to be back. I can talk to you a little bit about this process, but first and foremost, I want to thank Terry and President Cartwright for giving me this opportunity. You know, life's funny. My time in Orlando is one of my favorite times of my life. It was a short period, 2 years, with some really good people and some relationships and some experiences that I'll never forget. It was hard for me to leave. It was emotional for me to leave, and there was a lot of pressure for me to go and do something else. Coaching's funny too. You put yourself out there and you compete and you do the best you can, and sometimes it works great, sometimes it doesn't work great. At UCF it worked great. Sometimes it doesn't. And you take a lot of criticism, you take a lot of praise when things are going well, you take a lot of criticism when it's not. You take arrows, you take slings, you take cheers. I was in the NFL with the Rams. I'd like to thank those guys so much for they're kicking Buffalo's butt right now too, but for giving me an opportunity to get back on my feet. And it would have taken a lot for me to leave that. And when these guys called, this is honestly probably the one institution that I would have listened to leave that life and come back to. And the main reason is because of the people that I met that are here, the people that I met the first time when I was here, an opportunity to coach football again and do it at a high level, an opportunity to do it in a great community that my wife and I loved living in, and we can put roots down and raise our 3 children together in a place that we love to live. So I'm grateful to be here. I hope everybody doesn't think we're going to go undefeated immediately. There's some work to do, but last time I came there was some work to do, and we got the right people and we did the work. And as a coach, I just miss coaching. I miss being around these young guys and making a difference in young people's lives and a campus and a community. And I'm thrilled to be back, ready to roll up my sleeves and get to work and get the right people in here to do those things. And you know, someday if my legacy is to help this place get from where it was to where it is now, and then come back and help it take the next step and be viable contender for a lot of things, then that's great with me. And I'm excited to start on that process. So thank you very much.
I think we got a mic out there. If we have a mic, if you have a question to ask, please let us recognize you and a name and affiliation. So to the front right here. Sure. Go down to Jamie at the end. Next. Yeah. Right behind you, Jamie. To your left is the mic. Go ahead.
Jamie Say, WKMG. Scott, welcome back. Does this moment feel surreal to you at all?
Yeah, it feels surreal. It feels like it was 100 years ago and yesterday at the same time. You know, pulling back on campus, and I parked in the spot I parked in for 2 years. You know, I didn't think this would come, but like I said, I don't think I would have come back to just any place. But this place gave me a start, and I kind of gave it a start in its own way, or at least had a hand in that. And the biggest thing, like I said, is my wife and I have 3 kids, and bringing them to a place like this and letting my son see daddy coach and bringing them up in a good place like Orlando is what we wanted to do.
Brandon, go ahead.
Coach, Brandon Helwig of UCFsports.com. Obviously, very memorable 2 seasons you had in 16 and 17. I know it was very difficult for you to leave. I know that was a tumultuous time in your life. Just how difficult was that process for you? And was this place something you really thought about as the years went on?
Yeah, I mean, it was hard for me to leave. It was emotional. When you're climbing the ladder of success in life, sometimes they forget to tell you to stop when you're happy. That being said, there was a lot of pressure. And the biggest thing for me is my dad wasn't doing well, and I got to spend time with him. My wife and I were lucky enough to have 2 daughters born at the next place I went. And, you have good times and bad times everywhere. And this game, sometimes you get it done and sometimes you don't. We did the right things here and pushed the right buttons and got it done. And I think we can do that again. In fact, I know we can do that again if we do the right things. UCF, to me, is unique in the country because it's still in its infancy. It might be a toddler now. When I came before, maybe it was in its infancy. But most schools in the country, when you look at the landscape of college football, are kind of pegged where they are. And generally speaking, that's where they're going to be. I always thought since the first time I came until now that the potential for growth and status in college football is bigger here than it is other places, and I'm excited to take the challenge to try to get it there.
Scott, Matt Marshall with the Orlando Sentinel. It's been 7 years since you've been here on campus and since you were the part of this program. How have you changed and grown in that time?
Well, I used to play intramural basketball and pick up here at lunch, and a little more mileage on the tires now. I'm the same guy. I'm probably just a little longer in the tooth and wiser. And I think you actually learn more through trials maybe than you do even success. I learned a lot here. I've learned a lot since. Learned a lot in the time this past year out in California. I'm excited to take this on. I'm the same guy that I was, maybe just a little more experience and a little more wisdom.
Hey Scott, Darren Stoltzfus, West 2 to your left right here. I alluded to a kitchen appliance with your predecessor. I won't use any of it was this, but pressure. You kind of alluded to it. How is this place different now with the pressures and the expectations that you essentially built, but now coming back to that, how different of a job is this?
I think it's a different job. It's grown, and it's grown because of good people here. The leadership that was here when I was here, the leadership that's here now. Like I said, I like to think I had a little bit of hand in where it's gotten. Certainly the coaches that I work with and players that have been here and all the people that have worked. It's amazing what this place has blossomed into. Now it's in the Big Show, in the Big 12. I have a ton of respect for the teams in that league. I've coached against a lot of them and understand that we got a work cut out for us. But UCF is a special place, man, and I think where it can go is special, and I'm excited to be a part of it.
Great.
Coach Trey Strelko, Sons of UCF, welcome back. Do you have a chip on your shoulder, something to prove?
Yeah, being out of coaching for a little while was tough on me because I love it. And I think when you are a competitor, you want to be in the arena fighting. And it would have taken a special arena to get me to say yes and to come to start to fight again. But I know what I'm capable of, and I know what we can get done here. UCF can become great if we do things the right way. And there's a little bit of me that wants to prove the type of coach that I think I am. And I'm going to get a chance to do that in a special place.
Hey Coach, Andrew Jericho, student and reporter for the Sons of UCF. When advocating for your hire players like Shaquem Griffin, we're talking about the culture that you talked about, the culture that you built. What does that mean to you and the legacy that you made, and what kind of culture do you hope to bring back?
When I coached here, it was bigger than just any one person. It was about a team. And we got a group that the coaches love the players and the players love the coaches, and we all fought for each other. my guys made every decision they made based on what's best for the man to the left and the man to the right. And whenever you're a part of something bigger than yourself, it's even more special. That's hard to get. It's hard to find that kind of culture. It's hard to create that kind of culture. We're going to have to make sure that we have that again. Honestly, I think it's even harder in this day and age in the new era of college football with NIL and the transfer portal and those types of things. I think you have to be even more conscious to make sure you're getting the right people and that are here for the right reasons. And we'll do the best we can with all that.
Mike?
Yeah, Coach Mike Bianchi, Orlando Sentinel, welcome home.
Thanks, Mike. Good to see you, buddy.
You too. You alluded to KZ with the number 10 jersey. Have you thought about your staff? I'm sure you have. And, you know, the lead singer is back. Would you like to get some of the old band back together?
Yeah, I think that's a bad way to put it, but I'm not great at holding the tune, and some of those guys, you should hear them in the locker room. It's not good. Usually when you're going to get one of these jobs, you have a little time to think about it and you're prepared. This kind of came up to me pretty quick. Nobody was expecting this job to be open, and I certainly wasn't in a place where I was hunting for anything. I'm here because this one's special to me, and I want to help try to get it right again. I'm going to be a little more deliberate this time. We have more resources than we had last time I was here. I want to make sure I get the right guys, and there's a few pieces that I know that will be here that I definitely need to help me. Probably one that's already here and has been here a long time. And the rest of the pieces, I'm going to take my time and make sure we get the right team to do the work that we need to do.
Don Struble, Black and Gold Banneret. Coach, obviously the last time you were here, you guys were in the AAC. The landscape for the program has changed quite a bit with the transition into the Big 12. What lessons did you learn coaching in Power 4 that you hope to bring here, and what strategies from your last tenure do you hope to keep?
You learn every time you coach. I mean, if you're not continuing to learn, then you're falling behind. And circumstances are different every time you get a job, and even at an individual place, the circumstances that I'm taking over for are different than what Gus took over and what Hype took over and what I took over the first time. And you got to do things right, because winning's not easy. Like I said, I have a lot of respect for this league. I have a nephew at TCU. I've lived in Texas and seen what Baylor and Houston are, coached in the Pac-12 against Utah and Colorado and BYU when I was in Northern Iowa and Arizona State. Not to leave anybody out, but, watching Cincinnati and West Virginia, I know what kind of league this is. Honestly, from afar, watching UCF and rooting for them every chance I got, I figured there might be some growing pains when you leave the AAC and go to the Big 12. First year it kind of didn't look like maybe that would happen, but it has a little bit. And that being said, the leadership of this university has done an unbelievable job to put this on par with the other teams in this league as far as resources. We got it done last time because of the talent in Florida, the fit of talent to our system, and what we could get done with that. And I'm just really confident that if we do it the right way, we're going to have a really good chance to put those things together again.
Jamie?
Jamie Say, WKMG. Obviously, things have happened quickly, but if you haven't already, how quickly do you meet with the current players here, and what is your message to those guys?
Well, my message was we're going to do the little things right. When Terry actually talked to the team right before I did and told them, had met with them, and they kind of informed him what they wanted in a football coach. And one of the first things he said was discipline and accountability. And you can't have a culture without discipline and accountability. That being said, I think we've had more fun here as a group than about anybody in the country. And if you do things the right way, you're going to have more fun. So that was my message. It's a different time. We didn't have many kids in there. It's kind of getting close to Christmas break. There weren't that many, and then this thing called the portal exists. The bad part about that is my first step is going to be to make sure we keep the kids here that we need to keep, and I need to get really familiar with them really fast. And then the second step is to see what we need next. And we're going to do the best job we can with that in a short amount of time. As much as as that's hard and difficult. The good thing is, you can get some good players quicker and maybe rebuild some things faster than you could before. But I told the team this too, in this era where players are getting compensated for what they do, I'm really happy for them that that's happening. That being said, I'm going to be of the mindset that if someone comes here out of high school and a Florida kid or South Georgia kid or from anywhere and wants to be at UCF and plays well, I'd rather use our resources to keep those kids loyal and keep them here than try to go get a new team every year.
Coach, Stephen Leonard from Knights 24/7. Yeah, you talked about getting that Florida talent in. You had some limitations recruiting-wise, being a Group of 5 team when you were here last. Now you're in the Power 4. What do you expect recruiting to be like under you without those limitations?
I'm gonna learn on the job as we go along with that. I'm really confident knowing what I saw before. We lost some recruiting battles because we were in the AAC. Now we're in the big show, and I think Orlando is the best city with the university in Florida. I think it's the best college town in Florida. This campus is unbelievable. The city is unbelievable. And now we're on par with everybody else. In my interview, I kind of talked about this with the guys, but even when we were in the AAC, we went right here in Florida and found some guys that maybe got overlooked by other people. We found Gabe Davis right up the street and Tristan Hill, and they had found Traquan Smith, and we found Richie Grant in the Panhandle. Those are some special players, and you're not going to always, get the right ones, but I believe there's so many guys like that around here in this state, and we want to focus on that first. And make sure that we're building a core with an identity, a core with a culture and character, and we can go from there. But without those essential principles, I think you're chasing your tail. So I'm glad to be back in Florida.
Scott, Matt Marshall at the Orlando Sentinel. You built a reputation for UCF fast as an offensive system. Do you plan to implement a similar offensive system this next time, this coming back around? Or do you think you'll maybe modify and change some things because of the growth maybe you've had over the last 7 years?
Yeah, we kind of gave birth to UCF Fast and UCF Fierce, and that being said, we're going to do what's smart, and I'm going to put a team together that does things the smartest way that we know how to do them. I think there's a time for some of the things we did when I was here. I've certainly learned some other things. Been in a league where going fast all the time doesn't make sense because your defense is out on the field too much. I need some time to really study this league and take a look at it, see what we have on our roster, and run what's best to try to give us a chance to compete with the teams in this league with the talent that we have.
Coach, to Mars Hill, Elite Empire athletes, during your time here when you first were at UCF, you created a true culture, a true identity that the UCF fans are kind of expecting now. Again, you kind of created this monster. What challenges do you feel now that we are in the Big 12 that you will face while also keeping that same identity that you built before, kind of having that chip on your shoulder, that underdog being in the AAC, and not just feeling like you arrived since we are, like you mentioned, in the big show?
When there's a heavyweight title fight and one fighter wins and the other loses and they have a rematch, it's never the same fight. We're running this back, and I made a decision to bring my family back and run this back. It's not going to follow the same script, and we're going to have to make good decisions and do things a little bit different to get it there. And I'll tell you, to get the culture we had, there were some growing pains. If you got the true story from the guys that were here, it wasn't all easy. We had some issues. We had to make some tough decisions, but we got it there. And I'm going to make sure the right guys are here on campus with me to make sure we can get it there again, however long it takes.
Coach Ross, Trey Strelko, Sons of UCF. What was Terry Mahajer's vision or charge to you upon taking the job?
Terry's passionate. I think you could see that when he was up here. I'm learning that fast. I'm really excited to have someone that much passion and that in that role. I've worked for quite a few people now, and I don't think I've met anybody that probably wants it as bad as I do. Very few want it as bad as the coach does. I think I'm gonna have to up my game to make sure that I'm on his level. But I'm looking forward to. Nothing can get done alone. Sometimes as a young coach, you think you're enough no matter what the circumstances, whether things are with you or against you, whether the deck's stacked in your favor or against you, and it's just not true. If there's a good organization with good people that are all pulling the rope in the same direction, you got a chance. And I'm excited to actually have a partner to walk through this with, to make decisions with, and again, to try to make UCF relevant and more relevant in the pantheon of college football.
A couple more for Scott.
Yeah, Scott, Chris Boyle from the Daytona Beach News Journal. In working with the Rams over the last few months, what do you feel like you most gained from that experience? And are there things that you saw within the workings of the NFL atmosphere that you plan to bring to UCF as well?
I already said it, but I'm so grateful to those guys. I was trying to decide where to go next in my coaching career and to get back, and Les and Sean and the rest of the people there, that is a first-class organization. And I think that's what I learned more than anything there is just the quality of people they had in that building from top to bottom. And he's done a really good job there surrounding himself with high character, really intelligent people that he trusts to do their work so that he can focus on what he's good at. And I need to implement some of the same ideas.
Scott, far right.
Hi, Andrew Sagona, Reddit CFB. You may have alluded to this in your introductory comments, but what would you say is the thing that you miss the most about coaching here at UCF?
Well, I miss, one thing is tough. I miss the city of Orlando. My wife and I loved it here. And again, we have 3 children now. RJ, Capri, Alessandra, my 2 daughters. RJ was born here. The other 2 have never seen this place. So we're excited to bring that back. But what did I miss the most is just relationships. The relationships I built here are going to last my lifetime. Gabe Davis texted me today. The video that Keem put out is awesome. About made me cry. Kalubi Ali came and saw me right away. You can't put a price on those things. And when you've been in the competition and you've succeeded and you failed, the one constant that keeps bringing you back is the relationships with the brothers that you do it with. And I've had good relationships everywhere I've gone. I don't think I have any stronger here than with, KZ and Killens and Otis and the guys that I coach here. And I'm excited to try to build those again.
Last question.
Hey, Coach, Sean Green, Charge On Podcast. Obviously, you mentioned the transfer portal and wanting to, keep your main guys here, but with the transfer portal opening up tomorrow, how reliant are you guys going to be on the transfer portal this next cycle?
Honestly, you got to give me a chance to take a look at everything and see. My feet have been on the ground here for about 6 hours, Terry. I don't know. I know everybody in this league has a chance to win, and I need to take a hard look at everything to see what we need to do to win. And there's certainly some talented guys on this team because I've watched enough tape to know that UCF had really good talent and a chance in a lot of games. Talent doesn't matter much if you don't have character and discipline along with talent. So we're going to judge not just based on the talent that someone has, but are they a fit for the team? And we're going to get this right. And I'm not looking for a immediate turnaround at the expense of long-term success. So we're going to make the right decisions, make sure we get the right people and the right kids, and charge on after that.
Next up, for